He does not suppress fear, but acknowledges it, using it as a guide rather than a master. In doing so, he transforms. Most men are taught to seek power in external things: status, control, the ability to dominate others. But true power is inner mastery. The man who has faced his own darkness cannot be controlled, for there is nothing within him left unexplored. He does not fear the judgments of others, for he has already confronted his own. He does not crumble in moments of hardship, for he has already met himself in his most vulnerable states and emerged unbroken. He does not waste his life proving himself to the world, for he has nothing to prove to himself. Such a man moves differently. He does not need to shout to be heard, nor does he need to impose himself to be respected. His presence alone speaks of a depth few are willing to reach. Others may not understand him, but they feel something in him, a stillness, a completeness, a freedom that is rare in this world. He has met the storm within and made peace with it, and so nothing outside of him can shake him. The man who knows his darkness does not become lost in it. He does not indulge in self-pity or let his wounds define him. He does not use his past as an excuse for his present. Instead, he carries his experiences as wisdom, his pain as a teacher, his struggles as fuel for his own transformation. He understands that darkness is not the absence of light, but a depth that few dare to explore. It is within that depth that he finds himself, not as a fragmented being, but as a whole. To embrace one's darkness is not to surrender to it, but to recognize it as an inseparable part of existence. Just as the night follows the day, just as the ocean has its depths, so too does a man contain within him the full spectrum of being. It is only in embracing both light and shadow that he becomes truly free, for in doing so he no longer fights himself. He walks through life unburdened, untangled from illusions, moving with a quiet, unshakable strength that does not seek validation. He has become himself, fully and completely. A man who knows his darkness walks through life with an awareness that others do not possess. He no longer sees good and evil as separate forces waging war within him, but as two sides of the same coin, each necessary, each part of the whole. He does not run from his desires, his anger, his sorrow, nor does he allow them to control him. He observes them, welcomes them, understands them. And in doing so, he is no longer a prisoner of his impulses. The world is filled with men who wear masks, who fear their own nature so deeply that they build entire lives around avoiding themselves. They move through the world chasing distractions, believing that if they acquire enough power, enough wealth, enough recognition, they will finally silence the voice inside that whispers of their incompleteness. But the voice does not disappear. It lingers in the quiet moments, in the stillness of the night, reminding them that no matter how much they accumulate, they remain strangers to themselves. A man who has faced his darkness knows that the only way forward is through. He does not waste his time trying to numb his pain or escape his thoughts. He knows that running only strengthens the illusion of fear. Instead, he turns inward, walking willingly into the depths of his own mind. He does not seek comfort, but truth, no matter how difficult it may be to accept. He understands that real strength is not found in avoidance, but in presence, the ability to remain with himself, fully and without distraction. It is a rare thing to meet a man who has truly looked into himself without resistance. Most people fear what they will find. They fear their anger, their loneliness, their longing for power, their need for validation. They fear their own thoughts, their own capacity for destruction. But the man who has accepted these things is not ashamed of them. He does not pretend to be pure, nor does he pretend to be without weakness. Instead, he owns himself completely. Such a man is dangerous not because he seeks harm, but because he cannot be manipulated. He does not act from a place of insecurity, nor does he seek approval to justify his existence. He moves with purpose, unburdened by the need to prove himself to anyone. He does not hide from discomfort, nor does he blame the world for his struggles. He understands that every challenge, every hardship, every moment of suffering is an opportunity to know himself more deeply. The modern world discourages such depth. It rewards distraction, encourages conformity, and teaches men to seek fulfillment outside of themselves. It tells them to chase status, to compete endlessly, to accumulate more and more without ever stopping to ask why. And so, most men spend their lives running, seeking something they cannot name, never realizing that what they are looking for has been within them all along.